What's going on, everybody? My name is John Serwin and this is my kitchen. Welcome. Today I'm going to show you how I made this homemade chicken pot pie in a cast iron pan. I'll show you all the techniques and some of the secret ingredients I used coming up. Stay tuned. So for our chicken pot pie, we are going to be doing a bunch of prep. We have one whole rotisserie chicken that we are going to have to break everything down and shred all up. 2 potatoes, some rosemary, thyme, and sage, 2 medium onions, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 stalks of celery, 3 carrots, half a pound of bacon, 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. Over at our stovetop, we're going to grab our nice enameled cast iron pan. We are going to throw in our bacon and get it onto some medium heat to render down the fat. And we are going to be using that bacon fat to saute or really sweat the rest of the vegetables that we will be doing next. So cook this down. We will save the bacon and use it as well, but get that highly coveted bacon fat out of there that we can saute our vegetables in. Remember that leftover biscuit dough we had? First I'm going to start mashing it out. Now we're going to start rolling. All right, that looks about good. We are going to transfer it to our cast iron pan. Like such. I figure you usually use pie crust for it, so why not leftover biscuit dough? Maybe this is going to work out great, maybe this is going to work out horribly. We'll have to figure it out. Bacon's right where I want it, so I'm going to take it out and, like I said, leave all that fat, as much fat in there as I can. Next, we're going to go in with 1/2 stick of butter, which is 4 tablespoons. Let that cook down and brown up slightly. The milk solids in here will actually end up frying a little bit in all of the fat. So once the bubbles kind of die down, that's when we are going to add in our carrots and potatoes, just to give them a little bit of a head start. Because the last thing I want is some hard carrots or hard potatoes in there. This foaming looks fantastic, so we are going to go in with our carrots first. Let these cook up for a few moments. Looks like a lot of butter, but we are going to be making a roux out of this. Next goes our potatoes. It's been about 3 minutes for our potatoes and carrots. We're going to go in with our onion. And at this point, we are going to put in a nice heavy pinch kosher salt. We're going to actually go 4 fingers this time. Nice heavy pinch. While we're at it, let's do a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper, that is. And give our onions maybe about 2-3 minutes of sweating down here or sauteing, or we'll call it cooking, because I'm not exactly sure. I think a sweat is when you start it in a cold pan with salt already on it. I'm just technically cooking this low. Not really looking for color, but just looking to get it translucent. About 1 minute later, we are going to go in with our celery. And again, just looking to get this all translucent. Full measurements will be in the description. While our vegetation is prepping up, I'm going to go ahead and prep our puff pastry that we'll be throwing right on top of that cast iron pan. Do a nice little bit of a roll out here. All right, that looks like it's going to fit. We're going to throw this back in the freezer for now, or fridge for now, to keep cool. Now that these have been cooking down for a few moments, feeling pretty good, we are going to throw in our mushrooms. That's 8 ounces of mushrooms. Mushrooms will release its liquid and then start frying in the fat. Now that our mushrooms have cooked down, we are going to throw in our garlic. That's 3 cloves minced. Give this a quick swirl around. We're only going to cook this for about 1 minute until it's fragrant, because we do not want to burn that garlic. Starting to smell it right now. It's only been a few seconds. It's now been 1 minute. We are going to throw in our fresh rosemary, our fresh thyme, and our fresh sage. Get some nice herbs in there, and once those get a little fragrant, we're going to start making our roux. Next, we have 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. This is going to make up our roux, because we have that bacon fat, that butter. That's about 6 tablespoons of fat in there. So we are going to go in with 1/3 of a cup of flour. Go ahead and cook this down for about 2-3 minutes just to get that raw flour taste off of there and get the fat coated on the flour. This is optional, but you know what? I have about half of a cup of white wine, Sauvignon Blanc to be precise, left over, so I'm going to go in with half a cup of Sauvignon Blanc. Just cook off that raw alcohol for a few moments, probably about a minute total. But this is going to really thicken up immediately because of that roux. So it's going to look like it's like wet sand, and that's quite all right. We're going to still cook it for about 30 seconds. In the meantime, since we used the rotisserie chicken, what I ended up doing was taking all the leftover bones and putting about 3-4 cups of water and boiling it down to 2 cups. So this is 2 cups of basically just boiled down, so a sort of chicken stock. All I'm going to do is put in about a teaspoon of bouillon to fortify this up. Do that while the alcohol is cooking off of there. So you'll see it's going to change it to a little bit more of a yellowish consistency. And we're going to go right on in. That's about 2 cups of chicken stock. All right, liking the thickness on here, we're going to keep bringing this up to a boil and add in about 1/2 of a cup of heavy cream. Makes it that proper cream gravy, basically. We'll mix this around, let it come back to a little bit of a boilage. Now that we've reached boilage, we're going to go ahead and turn this down, all the way down, and add in our whole rotisserie chicken. Ooh, does that look good? All right, we're going to let this chicken warm on up, and then we have a few last little additions to throw in before we start filling our pot pies. That is looking good. We do not want it to be too runny, because remember, this is a filling. It's not a soup. You know, if we did want to make this into a soup, that would be a very flavorful cream of chicken potato soup, but we want it as a filling. So this looks like a very good consistency to me. Now that our mixture is off the stove and has cooled down just a touch, we're going to go in with a cup of green frozen peas, which is about 160 grams. We have a 1/4 cup of parsley. We're going to just keep a little bit back for garnish at the end. We have that bacon that we cooked earlier. Throw that on in. And a last little secret here. You know that chicken skin we had from the rotisserie? Well, after taking it all off the bone, then roasted the skin to get it nice and crispy. I don't know if you can hear that. We're going to throw all of the skin on in here too. Give that a mix, and we are going to fill our pot pie. We'll be cooking it in a 425 degree oven for about 35 to 45 minutes. We're going to check it after 25 minutes, see how it's doing. We are going to grab our biscuit lined cast iron pan, start filling her on up. See how much of this will take. It's nice and thick right now, but as it heats up, it's definitely going to thin out some. There she is. I feel like that's stuffed up as much as I want it. Now I'm going to take my puff pastry, remember this thing, and just lay it right on top. We will be cutting off the excess. And actually, let me grab a knife right now and start cutting it down. We're going to try and crimp as much of the edge as we can. We're going to build up the edge, kind of do a 2-finger crimp if we can get it. It doesn't have to look crazy fancy. Remember, this is kind of a down-home, rustic meal here. And I'm sure I'll learn a better process than what I'm doing here. If you have done this and have a better process, feel free to comment below and let me know. Basically, let me know where I'm screwing up, because I'm pretty sure that's happening right now. But we're going to roll with it and see how it turns out. Good enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and give 6 nice slits in here to let the steam out. And then we will do a quick egg wash, which will just be 1 egg and about 3 tablespoons of water. All right, into a 425 degree oven we go. To make things difficult on us, I figured why not use the bottom of it, right? So we're going to throw our cast iron into the bottom here, and we will check in 30 minutes, see if it goes the full 35, 40, 45 minutes. So what can happen with a pot pie is that the outsides can get done before the inside, the pie crust that is. So what you want to end up doing, it's called a pie shield. Take a sheet of tin foil, fold it into quarters, and then just lop off, I don't know, somewhere where it would be about 4 inches total. So I'm going to just lop that off. And yeah, something like that. I'm going to put this on top of my pot pie so it'll protect the edges, but still let the inside or the middle get browned up. I'll show you in a moment. So as you can see, the outsides are getting done a little more than the inside. So all I'm going to do is throw on this onto and just kind of lay it on there lightly. It has now been 35 minutes. Let's see how she looks. Ooh. Well, that looks promising. Oh. Yep, she's hot. That's right, matching set. All right, let's take this off. Ooh. Wow, wee wow. See if you can get a good look at her without it sliding too much. That right there is a homemade cast iron chicken pot pie. Only thing we got to do is we got to let this rest for about 35 minutes to 45 minutes before we can cut into her. Hopefully I can wait that long, but yeah, I've been known to jump in 15, 20 minutes, a little bit early. And there you have it, folks. Homemade chicken pot pie in a cast iron pan, a little puff pastry and some leftover biscuit dough as the doughs. Only thing left to do is give it the official taste test. Ooh, that puff pastry is just so flaky and crisp. All right, let's dive on in. Man, it's like if you have a extra flavorful, extra thick cream of chicken soup with potatoes, mushrooms, sage, just a whole bunch of herbs, a whole bunch of flavor all in there, all compacted into some delicious puff pastry and biscuit dough. Man, yeah. I didn't even realize. I guess I'm like hitting all these classics right now, and I completely understand why they are classic. Stood the test of time for a reason. So yeah, give this a shot. Let me know what you think. You know what? Even comment if you have other techniques or other recipes that you've come across. I'd love to learn and see where I can go with this. Thanks for coming by, folks. And remember, you're just making food out of ingredients until you sit there and share them with the ones you love. Then it's a meal. All right, guys, thanks for coming by. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time.